Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled People. In today's episode, lady claims I stole her car and the police were called. That's what reservations are for. Push in it, check in. Get karma'd. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Lady claims I stole her car and the police were called. I've seen posts about this kind of thing and thought, no way, this is real. What kind of idiot would call the police for that? Well, yesterday it happened and I'm still confused what this lady was thinking. We have been looking for a car for our youngest. Looking through online ads, we came across an ad for a luxury car that only wanted about 1/3 of what this car blew books for. Says car just suddenly stopped starting. My husband is a mechanic, so we decided to look at it, just to see. Immediately he sees a couple potential problems as to why it doesn't start. Car has new tires, body nearly perfect, interior needs a few easy fixes. Still well worth way more than owner is asking, even with paying for repairs to get it running. Of course we bought it. Youngest is ecstatic about getting a luxury car for graduation. Husband gets car running, even easier fix than he originally thought. And now it is time for crazy lady. It is time for plates and registration. Off to the DMV we go. Come out with the temporary tags, and his husband is putting them on the car. This lady walks up. CL, excuse me? Me, distracted by phone, CL, excuse me? Me, I'm sorry, do you need something? CL, yes. That car. Me, my car? What about it? CL, where did you get it? Me, we bought it a few weeks ago. CL, that's my car. Husband, no, it isn't. Now get away from us. CL, yes, that is the car I was going to buy from previous owner, and you stole it from me. Me, lady, I paid previous owner what they were asking and nothing was said about you. Leave us alone. CL, previous owner, and I had an agreement about the car and you came in and made her sell it to you. I want it back and I want it now. I had to buy that piece of shit over there instead. Now, you take the piece of shit and give me my car. Me, whatever. Now get the hell out of my way before I run your stupid ass over. CL, I'm not going anywhere. I've already reported to the police that I have found my stolen car and they are on the way. Husband, are you nuts, lady? You can't just report a car stolen because you missed the chance to buy it. What this insane doesn't know is we are actually waiting on the previous owner to show up to get her plate and registration because there was a mix-up with the title, DMV fault, and we had to wait to get that fixed before we could title, register, and plate it, so we were still using the correct plates. Previous owner can then turn in her plate and get a refund for the months not used. 2 police cruisers pulled up about 5 minutes later. Previous owner pulled in right behind them. As the 2 officers are getting out and asking who called, previous owner walked up to me and my husband, asking what is going on. She hadn't noticed the crazy lady yet. CL immediately started yelling how she had paid for this car and we forced the previous owner to give us the title instead. She wanted us arrested and her given the title and possession of the car right now. One of the officers walked over to us. I grinned because it is one of my friend's sons. Grew up with and was friends with my oldest son. Officer, hey, Brandy. Want to tell me what is going on? Me, I don't really know. We bought this car a few weeks ago from her, pointing to previous owner, and while we were waiting for her to show up to get her plate, this woman started screaming at us about stealing the car. Something about they, pointing between previous owner and crazy lady, had an agreement about the car, but she, previous owner, sold it to us instead, and now she, crazy lady, is demanding we take whatever car she ended up buying and we give her this one. Previous owner, OMG. This is exactly why I didn't sell her the car in the first place. She is my neighbor and she is insane. She asked me about it when I decided to sell it and I told her she could buy it, but she wanted me to get it running again but still sell it to her for the low price. I told her I didn't want to deal with it and that is why it was low. If I got it running again, I might just keep it, but I would definitely raise the selling price to at least double. She has called me a few times asking if I had it running yet and I have told her no, but she kept telling me to call her when I did. Officer then, going with procedures, checked all of our IDs, checked the bill of sale, previous registration, and ran the VIN. Everything checked out. Officer, I think we're done here. Addressing crazy lady, ma'am, it is a crime what you have attempted here. Actually, you made a false report which is a crime and I could arrest you, but I'm not. I'm sure you're just upset and made a bad judgment call so we will let it slide. CL, no. It wasn't a false report. That is my car. Officer, ma'am, stop. Just stop. I could also charge you with attempted car theft, but we're all just going to walk away now. CL, no. I'm not just walking away. This is bullshit. Pointing at previous owner, you owe me, amount twice what we paid for the car, and I will get my car back. Officer number 2, ma'am, step over by the cruiser. We need to have a talk. I gave the plate to the previous owner and officer number 1 told us to have a nice day. Husband and I went ahead and left while previous owner went into the DMV. CL was still ranting at officer number 2 about allowing us to steal the car. Previous owner texted me later that CL was in the back of the police car when she left, still yelling. I'm not worried about any future contact with CL. We don't live in the town where the DMV is or where they live. In a couple of months, the car will be 2 hours away with my youngest at college. CL doesn't know our names and previous owner doesn't know where we live. The audacity of that lady. And the stupidity to insist on getting arrested after she was given a pass by a patient officer. Forrest Gump said it best. Every time I read a crazy post on Reddit and I think okay, nothing tops this, something else comes along to flabbergast me. I love that this worked out for you, OP. Do you have pics of the car? Kinda wanna see the work you did to fix it. Wait, so you were at the DMV and the previous owner had to come do paperwork? Happens all the time. Happened to me too when I bought a car. The crazy next door neighbor happens to show up, recognize the car and make a scene. Okay. I can see that. She crazy and calls the police. Police show up and previous owner pulls in right behind them. Good timing. Cops get out of the cruiser and you know him. This is the perfect storm of stories. That's what reservations are for. A few years ago, I worked a job that required me to travel a lot. From Monday night, Thursday night, I pretty much lived in a hotel room. I did this job for 10 years. Because my destinations were nearly always in the same cities, with my meetings at nearly the same location, I stayed at the same motels. The company I worked for paid for the hotels and expenses. They also had no issue with me joining rewards programs with the various hotel chains I frequented. After a time, several of the hotels knew me by name. One hotel in particular had a room that they referred to as Mr. Theologian's room. With another chain, I had more than made diamond status on their rewards program and had over 750,000 points. So when I would call and reserve a room, they would automatically upgrade me to a presidential suite if they had it available, or a master suite if the presidential was not available. So one Monday afternoon, I arrived at my motel destination with my reservation information handy in case I got a new person at the desk. As I entered the lobby with my luggage, a couple was at the desk and there seemed to be an issue. The desk person, which was the manager, was trying to explaining to this couple that the hotel was filled. The man was saying he had called to check on rooms earlier that day for the event going on in the city and had been told there were rooms still available. There was an event in that city that week and all the hotels were full. I knew about the event in advance and had made a reservation 2 months in advance. Knowing I was going to be there at the same time as the event, I plan ahead. The woman in this couple had become unhinged before I had arrived. The woman was shouting obscenities and making claims of racism. The man kept asking to speak with the manager, which he was. The guy was frustrated and upset, but he was also trying to keep his cool and calm his nearly rabid female companion down. It was really embarrassing to stand there and watch this go on. After about 15 minutes or so, they reluctantly gave up and decided to leave. As they stormed past me, the man tells me, "Give it up, man, ain't no rooms here." I go up to the desk and the front desk manager greets me and says that my room is ready. Well, the couple that were leaving hear this, and I only thought that woman had been loud the first time. The woman came flying back to the front desk demanding to know why I had been given a room and they had been turned away. And now I was the target of some of her ire. I tried explaining that I had a reservation, but that didn't seem to matter. I, along with the front desk manager, were being called all manner of obscenities and being accused of all kinds of crimes. The woman, without warning, suddenly turns at me and tries to kick me. Though she only managed to kick my suitcase. Her male companion came over and is trying to get her to calm down, and he is now apologizing for her. But she just keeps on and on. This goes on for 5, maybe 10 minutes before the police arrived. The manager had sounded an alarm because she felt endangered. Having a big city-wide event, the police were traveling in pairs, so there are 2 of them. The police managed to get the woman somewhat calmed down and start taking statements. The woman keeps demanding that I be arrested for stealing their hotel room. My statement was easy: I'm here on business. Here is a copy of my reservation made 2 months earlier, and no, I don't want to press charges for attempted assault. After the police take everyone's statements, they tell the couple they have to leave or they will be arrested. The man seemed a little pissed off but agreed. His female companion exploded. I'm not going to go into detail on what all she had to say here. Her male companion was now telling her to shut up and just go, but knew she want her hotel room that she was entitled to, her actual words. It didn't end well for her. She slapped a cop. What happened next happened so fast it was incredible. The cop she slapped spun her around, put her in cuffs, and hallied her out to the car. It took all of maybe 45 seconds. At the same time, the other cop turned on her companion. This guy immediately threw his hands up in the air and said, "I'm not with her." The guy then kept apologizing for her behavior as he left. The cops finished up and left. I could see the woman in the back of the car crying and saying something to the cops as they left. The rest of that week went by pretty much uneventful. In the end, she got the room she was entitled to, in a hotel where room service uniform is blue, and meals are included. I'm not with her. I hope he really ended his relationship with her after that. She sounds like a lot. I also hope he is safe, because that is one angry woman. That unhinged one sounds like a spoiled brat throwing a tantrum. Then she slaps a cop? She's an idiot. She was that close to getting out of that mess without any charges. But no. She had to go and slap the cop. Push in it, check in. Get karma'd. This happened a few years back, so pre-COVID. I was flying out of Manchester Airport as a solo traveler. The airline had 4 check-in desks open with 2 queues. So Q1 goes to desk 1 and 2, and desk 3 and 4 are Q2. I'm at the front of my queue and the check-in woman calls the next person forward. In the second it takes for me to lift my suitcase, a man in the queue to my left rushes forward. His wife/partner is left struggling with all their cases, and the check-in assistant just looks at me in shock, obviously expecting me to kick off. I gesture to her to continue. Because the other check-in desk was dealing with a larger group, I ended up being served by the original check-in assistant straight after. She was very apologetic, but obviously it wasn't her fault. 2 hours later and I'm boarding when my ticket gets flagged. I'd been given an upgrade to a premium seat. When I board, I pass the couple who jumped the queue who have been given seats up against the toilets, so they won't recline and will stink. And she didn't even tell you she gave you the upgrade. How cool is that? Never underestimate the power of airline employees. They have it, they know they have it, and most importantly, they use it. They are the judge and jury you interface with when entering their domain. Those who exhibit entitlement within their view are subject to anything they decide to do, with little to no recourse. If one tries to challenge them, it usually never ends well. Yep, they really do reward patience. I've had upgrades due to just being patient and understanding, you know, the bare minimum, lol. Karma at its finest. Love it. Hopefully someone on the flight had bowel issues. Give me milk coffee and I can create an issue for myself. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.